Okay, right, so hi again. What I'm looking at today is the DM007 quadcopter. I just recently purchased this from GearBest, so I'm just going to take it out of the packet. I haven't actually looked at this yet, so let's make sure we've got everything in there. So this is actually the 5 megapixel version. I wanted to get this one because hopefully the camera was slightly better than the other one that I've got. The other one was the Mold King, so still got that, still flies really well. Pretty pleased with the camera on that, because I want something a little bit higher resolution, and this one's supposed to have a 5 megapixel camera as opposed to this, which had a 2 megapixel camera. So pop that one to one side. Just taking it out of the box, looks really simple, probably a little bit weightier than that one actually, so sort of fairly small looking quad. Obviously quite a few of you have probably already watched various videos regarding the DM007, so this is my first time actually seeing one though, and you know, first thoughts out of the box are quite a sturdy feeling little quad. The propeller's certainly quite a bit smaller than the Mold King that I got before, so it's, yeah, so quite surprising actually how small those propellers are, but yeah, certainly feels good. It says 1080p on the bottom, so I'm really hoping to get sort of slightly higher resolution video with that. The other things in the box, so I'll just turn the box around so you can see there, sort of fairly simple, obviously taking a quad out of there. Looks like we've got some instructions, so hopefully that's written in reasonably good English, yeah, and you know, looks pretty good, nicely printed, good clear instructions there. Quite a nice looking controller, so nice looking controller. Looks like they don't include batteries, so I will have to go and find some batteries in a moment just to pop in there. And yep, feels nice, so quite a nice feeling controller. And it's got the LCD display there as well, so we'll have a look and see what that looks like in a minute. Just a little box there, don't know what's in there. Well, I suppose hopefully a battery or battery charger. So, so that looks like must be European plug there. I'm in the UK, so that one's not going to be much good, although I did also order some spare batteries, so they did actually supply. I don't know whether that would have come with it anyway, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be fine, so I'll be able to sort that out. What else have we got? Nothing else in there. So it looks like we've got some spare props. What have we got? So 4 spare props, little tiny things. Yeah, really surprised how small they are. And it looks like a little memory card reader. So nice colour, green plastic. Actually feels better quality than the one that came with the Mold King as well. Quite a neat little thing. I'm guessing the memory card is already in. So let's have a look. Yeah, so it looks like just a sort of fairly generic 4 gig memory card, and I'm sure the battery is in there as well. So I think what I'll do is I will pop that to one side. I'll just go and pop some batteries in the controller, and then come back and we'll see whether we can give it a little tiny, just a first test. So I'll just pop some batteries in the controller. Right, so 4 batteries, 4 AA batteries. Let's just pop those in, see what happens when we've got some batteries in. Going to do that on the glass table. Wife will be happy. So just pops on the back. Let's. So we've got a beep, which is always good. And we've got a flashing light, which I'm sure is probably good, somewhere along the line. Okay, so looking like moving the controllers. Hopefully you can see that is doing the right things on the LCD display there. So that's all looking good. Let's move this. And Now, does it have an on-off switch? That's the question. Maybe I should have watched some videos first. So no, so no on-off switch. So now I have to work out how to actually open it. Yeah, might take me a while. Maybe I should read the instructions. Yeah, that looks good. No, that doesn't help me. Of course, all of you that know all about this are probably looking at me thinking, you fool, what are you doing? If you've never seen one of these before, then I'm probably forgiven for not understanding quite how it goes. This is funny. Ha 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 ha. Right, instructions. Right. Yep, I've done that. Yep. Recharge. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. Press that. Do that. Yep. Do that. No. Please. No. Common problem and solution. The problem. The idiot owner hasn't checked out how to open the battery compartment. Right, I'm just going to pause the video now at this point, and now I'll be back straight away. Okay, I knew what I was doing all along there. Yeah, so actually all you do is you just push that forward and flip it up, so that looks easy enough. Looks like the battery in there is probably not going to come out. Oh, it is going to come out with my nail against it. I remember watching a video a couple of weeks ago or so when I thought about buying this, and I think this is one of the bits of feedback regarding this quad, that the battery is not easy to get out. So what am I going to do? I think I'm going to adapt the battery once I've got it out, and up until that point I'm probably going to jab it with a plastic, a little bit of plastic, just to get that out. Right, so after that bit of a fiasco there, that was all good fun. And the funny thing was that most of the things that I was videoing, I had the video turned off. So lesson number one, check the video's recording before you babble on for ages. So what I eventually did, because where we were last time was I was trying to get the battery out. That's not the original battery, that's an aftermarket battery, but the other one's on charge now. So once I eventually got that out, which was really just a case of getting a stick and bunging in there. I've also adapted the battery compartment, so all I've done is, and hopefully you can see this, I've just taken a pair of clippers and just clipped off the corners of the battery compartment cover there. So the theory is now when I close the battery cover, I can just have the wires outside. So the theory, and it was a very good theory, was that these connectors would be outside of the case rather than inside. That seemed like a good idea at the time, because I mean it's crazy just how much room there isn't inside there. Obviously you've got to get the battery in there, and also the connections and the wire. So as I say, just crazy. There's just not enough room really for it. The other thing I've done, like quite a few other people, I've just put a bit of tape on the battery itself, so that should, in theory, make it easier to put in and take out. As I say, these batteries I also got from Gridco, that aftermarket batteries. They're not quite the same as the original, and they are, just a 7.4 volt. It does say DM007 on there, so obviously designed for this really. I'm not convinced though that they're not just very slightly too thick, or really in a perfect world if the depth of the battery case or the cord was just just a millimetre, just a couple of millimetres thicker or wider, just to allow you to get the batteries in easier. Again, it just seems crazy that there's just absolutely no room in there. But it does go in, and with a little bit of tape there, as you can see, that just hangs out. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to connect the wires before I close the lid, if I can actually do that. Yeah. So should have some. Yep. So we should have some flashing lights there, and then. So with those little clip outs that I've made on the corners of the battery connector, that just allows the two wires just to sort of hang out of each end. But you know, it's fine. The connector's outside, but I think that's probably the best strategy. I still haven't worked out what all the flashing lights do, and I'm sure I will work that out at some point. But the actual quad itself, I've had a little bit of a test with it. It seems okay. The flight definitely flies very different to the Mold King 33041. But you know, seems really good. Took me a little bit of time to work out, and I'm still not convinced I've actually got it worked out which buttons do the video. I think it's the left-hand button, and I think it's down does the video, or up does photo, and then you know, after that you're away really. Seems to hover quite well. As I say, it's definitely. Right, that battery isn't charged. Yeah, you can tell. That would have been better, of course, if the battery was charged. So I do need to get that one on charge and just make sure that video just saves it to the card. So what I will do is I'll put a charged battery in and just have a quick fly around just so that you can see that charging. And unfortunately today is really windy outside, so I'm not going to get a chance to go outside and get any sort of proper video, which is really why I bought this particular quad. But as I say, I'll just quickly fly it around the living room in just a moment, just so you can see how it goes. Okay. Okay, so overall, just had a bit of a sort of flight, you know, with that, just a bit of a test. And so, what do I think about it? I think I'm just going to get the old Mold King back 33041. I think, you know, very different quads. I thought they were going to be very, very similar. Some of the early sort of stuff I read about these was that the Mold King was actually pretty much the same as the DM007. Definitely not the case. This is much more weighty but smaller, so I think this is less responsive than the Mold King. I think it's heavier, so you need to certainly put more power into the little tiny rotors to actually, you know, get lift on it. I've yet to test it outside, so I don't really know about outside, and I've yet to look at the video in any more detail to see whether that's any good. As I say, today's too windy to actually see that. To go outside and see what it's like in daylight. I'm really hoping the camera is okay, because that's really the main reason why I bought this. Really sort of, I think, disappointed and a little bit frustrated about the fact there's no room for the wires for the battery, and even the battery itself is really tight, you know, to get it in. I can't imagine that sort of loosening up or getting any better as we go forward, so that's a bit of a shame. I think, you know, overall the quality of it is good. I've sort of bouncing off the walls a bit already. Don't tell the wife. Certainly, I think the propeller protectors on here, that's a little bit of a pain. They're made of quite sort of bendy plastic, and a couple of times what's actually happened is, you know, if I've sort of nudged it slightly against something, that seems to have bent the propeller guards in slightly, and of course then the propellers actually, rather than hitting anything else, they hit the propeller guard. So the propeller hasn't come off once yet on the Mold King, whereas with this the propellers have actually come off a couple of times. So I think that's something to be careful of, and just maybe keep bending the propeller guards back down just to make sure they stay stay clear of the propellers. But overall, but I think value wise is I just think this sort of thing is ridiculously good value. It's not much. I can't remember how much I paid. I think it was £25, something like that, which is nothing really, for something like this, with a camera on. So I'm going to have some more fun with this. I might update the video later on, but I think it's a good buy. Whether I'd go for that or the Mould King, not too sure really yet. I think I need to do a bit more experimenting and sort of see which one really sort of works better outside. But yeah, I mean that's something maybe for the future.